for the year 2022. And taught in our session with the title overview on ISM, International Ship Safety Management Maritime Auditor, which is to be presented by our experienced trainer, lead auditor, Mary Lee Twang, LCGI BA ILM IRCA. Thank you for volunteering to share your wealth of experience with the ASSP Nigerian chapter. I am excited this morning in seeing all of us in a happy and expectant mood to grab from our presenter. We are lucky to have her this period through the effort of our regional director, Engineer Kamil. So we appreciate you. It wasn't easy due to her tight schedule. But today, Nigerian chapter is happy to have secure her audience to lecture us on today's topic. Thank you, Camille, and to all my executive members and intending as well for making out time to enrich your learning. Let us open our mind, our heart to learn from the worlds of experience from Mary Lee. Thank you and God bless. But remember to adhere to all the safety protocol with regard to COVID-19. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much, my President. Next on the agenda is the introduction of Mary Lee, and I'll be in the position to quickly do that. Just like the President has rightly said, we are happy to have you even in our mix this morning. Mary Lee Twang, LCGI BA-ILM, is an ICA lead auditor since 1995. Interestingly, relentlessly retired with 40 years experience as trainer, lead auditor, the consultant in both industrial and maritime industry. These are very wonderful experiences based on what we can see here. Specializing in ISO 9002, 1994 through to ISO 9001, 2015. That's 4 generations, if you may ask me. She equally specializes in ISM ship safety management system, design, the designated person ashore. She's also specializes in international ship and port facility security management system. And also MLSC 06, that's Maritime Labor Convention 2006. She's a certified trainer and inspector on environmental EMS, OHLs, food safety management, and all that. Dedicatedly, she has traveled to almost 54 countries around the world to carry out this training and auditing mission. And it's very gratifying for us to actually have her even in our midst. And she's a lead instructor to Main Maritime Academy and Ferry B International, Canada, and Hong Kong. So we are very excited even to have her even in our midst this morning. And we actually want to welcome you. Thank you for volunteering. Thank you for having you here with us. And without much ado, I want to hand over the baton to you so that you kickstart the presentation. Thank you, Mary Lee, for joining us. And over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, the President. Thank you for the organization. It's really nice to have you and invite me over to this Zoom meeting with so many professionals here. It is so grateful. Now with the pandemic, it is really nice that we have Zoom meeting and we would not stop our profession. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, it is so nice of you that you mentioned my experience. Yes, I retired, but I still quite active in one sense, because in this industry, if you are very dedicated, you won't retire. Especially there are many ways we can still contribute our work to the industry with all your experience, because every one of you have accumulated certain specialties and areas. So it is really, nobody can retire. We all need everybody's skill and the dedication. In this maritime industry, you say it is very big, very vast, is a great world, but it is a small world. And we meet again. The reason is I've been recently, almost 6-7 years ago, teaching at the main Maritime Academy. And then one of your very important person came in to the training. And then he referred me to this, some personnel here, Camille, and then we are here and I'm here and see again. And then you won't be retired. So the same with you. I know everybody now is working, but you never can retire, because I was working with all these very professionals when I was in my career. That's how they taught me. And I followed them, I learned from them, travel around the world. I travel not because of the ship, not because of seagoing, but really flying everywhere in different parts of the world to audit or carry out the ISM audit, because ISO is voluntary. That means you don't need to be mandatory. You don't need to have certification, and you still can survive. But ISM is different. We have to, the ship industry require all the shipping company, all the big ship, larger than 500 GRT tonnage, they have to be certified safe shipping, safe seagoing. So they won't allow any ship that is non-standard to go in the water. Otherwise, the Coast Guard are the policemen to check them in every part of the world in their ports, because they don't want you to pollute our port and area. So with the ISM code actually became mandatory in 1998. That's how I got into this industry. When I was involved in the ISO 9002 at that time, it's still not called 9001. I'm sure quite a number of you familiar with this term and this quality management system. In fact, we also combined this ISO 9000 into the ISM code and their story. The 1994 system is very similar to, or I should say, ISM came after. So ISM, International Ship Safety Management System, is adopted from ISO 9002, 1994. So then, of course, ISO improved every 8 years. So we have to be familiar and get qualified every 8 years as an ISO auditor as well. In the industry, in our maritime industry, is very, very big. involving different countries, all the oceans around the world, all the ship going, they can go anywhere carrying the flag state. The flag of the state of their country, just like each country, like Panama has the largest flag ships in the world. And you have any ship is local, you are the carry the flag of your local marine department, that means your country. So it is all organized or all controlled by the IMO, International Maritime Organization. And then they don't directly contact us as a ship. So they will work with the flag state, means those marine department of each country that they have sea-going ships to monitor them, to say, this is you have to do, this you have to get done. And then you will monitor and ensure your ships are equipped with the certification or anything that they require. There are so many rules and regulations in the ship industry, also other industry as well. But because ship involving different nationalities, different countries, different people, different languages, and different ports. So when the ship goes to another port, they will have to obey or go according to their port regulation. So you can see that when we were born in a country, maybe we nationalize according to that country, become a citizen. And you also can go to another city, migrated or country, and you become a citizen of that country or a visitor. So the ship almost is the same. They hire different people, different level workers, all the seagoing people, personnel, they go to with the ship anywhere they go. Anywhere she goes, the ship is she. So with the maritime industry, because the ship going, they need to have servicing. So all the people or agency or the organization receiving the ship or doing some work for the ship, they will be working with the ship coming to their own port or send something over there, or the ration, because it's a ship is like a land where it's like a small city. So we have people living there 24 hours, working there and playing there. So they are leisuring, resting, also in the same ship. You're seeing the same people. And with the environment, there's so many different situations, like the storm or anything that can happen. And then the ship is in the middle of the sea, they can encounter of difficulty. So the ship people, they have equipped all the personnel, that means the engineer and all the qualified people to be on board the ship to maintain the ship. Just like if you have an offshore unit, okay, module, mobile offshore unit, if you are in the middle of that place or the sea, drilling oil, getting oil from the ground, and you have all the people still living there unless you are very near to the shore. So the ship safety is very important. If the ship is in the middle of the sea, you encounter some difficulty. It is difficult for somebody outsider to come to rescue you. It's all related to rely on your own people to be able to manage it. And then also we do not want anything that to happen, unfortunate to happen, because they cost life and they cost money. The ship is not cheap. and it's very expensive. Ship owners, they lost a lot of money. If there's anything wrong in the middle of sea, it's very hard to tow the ship away. If there's any encounter the problem, they have to be wandering in the middle of the sea until the ship wreck or until somebody can bring the ship back. Because of the ship, ISM, why is it come in place? Okay, I like to share a little bit with everybody. That's how I come into the industry. I will share my PowerPoint. Okay, first of all, I thank you again for the organization, American Society of Safety Professionals, Nigeria chapter. Nigeria is not a strange name for me because I encountered lots of work with them in the past 30 to 40 years. Actually, I'm in the industry is 30 years, but my working experience is more than 40 years. Yeah, and then the good thing that we are involving in the maritime, the ship industry, and then the industrial industry. As I said, anything ship involved, there is something that to support. Just like your offshore people, oil and they need to service the ship. They need to work with the ship. And the ship, all the origin of the resources, they have to rely on third party to supply to them. First of all, ISM. We know ISM is International Ship Safety. It is a management system. It's nothing a big deal. It is a management system. At the same time, because the system itself doesn't work with a ship, you need a person, you need people like you working on board the ship or over at shore, on shore to manage the ship. Just like the company further away, they don't sail with the ship, but they have to take care of the ship. So that means a DBA is called designated person ashore. So there's a training on ISM. ISM, of course, you have internal auditing, you have external auditing, you have third party, which means the Coast Guard come to audit you. And that means if you know how to audit ISM, you're able to work with your own ship and the Coast Guard and the flag state. Flag state is the one who take care of your own ship. That means my baby, my son, my children. The ship is the flag state's children. And then the port state control from another country is because you come to my place, you have to obey my rules and regulations. I want to make sure you're okay. You are safe to come to my place. Just you come to my home, you are safe to come to my home. And then you don't mess up my home. You don't oil pollution into my sea, my water. So all these things, or damage, or grounded, all this kind happen. Then the next management system, okay, the DPA, designated person ashore, is a person who is responsible for ISM code. That means he have to be totally, everybody relying on him to be in charge, and he monitor, he makes sure, he ensure, say you have to do this, you have to do that, you cannot do this or you cannot do that. So the rest of the people, personnel working on board the ship or ashore, they should have knowledge about what they are doing. They have to be specialized, or they need to know their qualification, what are they needed to do for their duty, their responsibility. So that comes into ISM and DPA. And then not only ISM is a rules and regulation, there are more than this. ISM is only a monitor system, and there are many like a solar system, and then with the many ship industry, different regulation. We have to be understand all these regulation with the personnel and then to obey accordingly. That's why we have surveyor, we have auditor, we have inspector. So I will tell you all the differences in the training. Then the next one is after 9/11, they come to international ship and port facility security. Security is because after 9/11, 2002, then the people get panic. They wouldn't want to see anything such as New York, World Trade Center, towers collapse like this. And then it involving not only lots of people's death, almost close to 3,000, and then with a lot of money, and then stop of business, cannot trade, not only involving USA, but involving different parts of the world. Because when I was, during those time, I was in another country, I seeing them, say, for example, in Asia, Singapore, China, they have received the order to manufacture something from America or different parts of the world. And then they suddenly, the company, you cannot find them. They collapse. You cannot see them, no more. So their goods, they produce so many thousands of the whatever product, they have to get rid of it, and nobody pay them. It is a world thing, okay? It's a world economy affected, being affected. So we don't want to have security problem to involve. In fact, in the ship industry, we already have security long time ago. Not only after 9/11, because we have pirates, the people robbing your ship. So we have people, maybe some other violence or some other illegal immigrants hiding in your ship. So these are all listed as according to the security. But in ISM already included these. Because of 9/11, ISPS come out, and then they said you have to obey and get audited, and you have to learn to have the system in place in your ship and your ports as well, not only the ship going vessels, but also the port and the facility around the ship, receiving the ship, servicing the ship. So we have to ensure they have all the security system in place. So there comes the ISPS code. And then it is a mandatory management system again. That means on board the ship, besides the other regulation like load lines, you need to be surveyed and have a certificate. And ISM is the overall safety auditing. We call auditing. That's why we have different terminology on surveying, auditing, inspection. There's 3 different elements. So it is a bit different. Looks like somebody is coming to check you, but it is a different element. So ISM code including everything, but then we have to be audited ISM code with a certificate before you can sell, and the ISPS as well. Without this certificate, you cannot sell. And then MLC came last. They have the MLC is Maritime Labor Convention, and the maritime labor. Then you hear labor involving people, the seagoing people, seafarer. And then the ship is sailing cannot be without any people working there. Not yet, okay, even computer, not yet. So then sometimes they were being mistreated in the middle of a sea. Nobody can see what's going on. And then a lot of element about labor. And this is involving not only IMO, International Maritime Organization, but also ILO, International Labor Organization. Yeah, DPA is the name, long name is called Designated Person Ashore. Is a person who is managing ISM safety and other, because there are many rules and regulations. ISM is only an instrument to audit the company, make sure ensuring the ship is being safe to go, and the safety not only because ISM don't tell you how to be safe, and all the other regulation like SOLA, it is telling you how to be safe and all the detail of being safe, and then security as well. So it is only a management system. Then we want to ensure the ship is capable, able to manage safety, able to manage security. That is the key point. And DPA is the person in charge. If there's any problem involving the ship, DPA is responsible. If anything wrong with the ship and if the DPA has not done their duty, he can be charged, he can be jailed, and he's a big responsibility. So what I do is supposedly say, ISM, you need to have 2 to 3 days training days, full days, 8 hours. And then DPA need another 2 days. What I want to do is I always like to save your time because I know that you are all very busy. Are you involving those time before? It is very, very busy, have no time to do a lot of things. And then there's no time to be training. So we always have training, they squeeze into day or night to do the evening to get the training done. I shorten it, making like 3 days to finish ISM and DPA together instead of 5 days or 4 days total. And then ISPS, you need 2 days to 3 days, but I can do it in 2 days because when I do a lot of works combined, you don't need to repeat the same thing again. In some element, they are similar. Even ISO 9000. I'm sure a lot of, maybe some of you have done ISO somewhere, some element, not only just 9000. Okay, maybe environment, occupational health and safety. We combine the system together. We combine the system together. We can work into a system with everything included, and it is not difficult. And if you take ISO 9000, if you're taking lead audit training, I'm sure some of you have done this lead audit training. You need to take 5 days, full days to get the training done. I don't need to. I do ISO, ISM combined 4 days to 5 days to finish, and 5 days including DPA. And then that is how I work with, because I can tell you all these relationships. And then you won't be needing extra time to work on something that's a repetition. You don't need to repeat. Okay, so the time is very, we don't have time to waste. Yeah. Okay. Okay, these are all management systems. So you don't need to be a skillful, very skillful person to do management. Okay, certainly you have to have the knowledge about it. Okay, now let's look into further. Okay, I just give you a bit more overall overview. ISO 9000, they have an earlier version, and then the one I involving was 1994. And then 2000, every 8 years, they change to another system. And then 2008, and they change. That's why they call 9001, 2000. 9001, 1994, 9002, 1994. There were 9002. And starting from 2000, there's no more 9002. Everybody call it 9001. So and so on, and the most recent one is 2015. And at that time, your director came into Maine in the state to take the training. We were teaching 2015. I don't remember he came in before or after, because 2015 only be effective in 2015 September, November. But then I was teaching the 2015 in the year of 2013. What I did is I helped you people because nobody has the time to do everything. So I try to tell people, teach you, that means the future system. Future system, how do I know future system? Of course, I'm not the one who make the regulation. So I work with my experience of all these number of ISO 9001 or 2, all the changes, and then with the hands-on auditing, because the reason I travel is not to just go sightseeing. I travel to work to audit companies, to be a consultant for the companies, or the auditing the ship, or maybe training them. So that's why I travel to these countries and different countries. I never been to Nigeria, but I went to South Africa, whereby many times in Durban, Johannesburg, and Cape Town. So these are mostly at the Durban, we have the training, and almost every year have a conference. I always go once a year. And then with the 2015, I was teaching in 13 because I'm using a draft. They have draft. And then because at that time you take 2008, and then the 8 is almost ending. That means 2 more years ending. So I try to get you people to be familiar, not only 2008, but get an idea of 2015, so that you can be a consultant. You see what I mean? Be a consultant. The reason, if you be a consultant, you'll be able to be ahead, and then you won't be only because if I teach 2008 only, then next time 2015 comes in, you have to take 2015 again, because every new version of the standard come out, we have to be retrained. We update, we call update. So of course they change quite a bit. 2000 to 2008, not too much. 2008 to 2015, a lot. Okay, and regulate all the ISO, including your environment, including your occupational health and safety, including your risk management. In the future, they all align with the same number of clauses as the ISO 9001. That means QMS is more or less the original one. Okay, so when I teach ISO 9001 combined with the ISM, I relate to you the relationship of each clauses. Some clauses ISM don't have. Some clauses ISO don't have in relation to the ISM or each other. Then I will relate the same one together. I only don't need to speak once, but tell you what is it applied to the ISO or ship industry, or maybe ISO, ISM ship industry, or maybe in the industrial industry. So when I was auditing, I'm not limit myself only to audit ISM in the ship. We combined the integrated system so many years ago. Okay, so many years ago. In the nowadays, if you integrate or combine, it's not a new thing. In like 30 years ago, say 25 years ago, when we integrate all these things, it is a big deal because they don't know, they don't understand. They think it's impossible, but we demonstrate to them it is possible. And we've been doing that. And we were teaching the student doing that. And then saving them a lot of time, and supposedly with the auditing time and dates, and it can be lower the price. We still get paid properly, but because we have 1 day short of auditing, we audit ISO QMS to get together with ISM, with environment, with occupational health and safety. At that time, occupational health and safety is ISO, not even a standard, 18001. And then the 14001 now change. And then we including after 9/11 came out ISPS, we involving MLC at the same time. So 5 or 6 standard and code together as one goal. Of course, we take several days. And then it saves all this time. That means if I audit you on the qualification of the personnel, I don't need to audit 6 times. I audit ship people on their ship qualification, and then on the shore people on everybody's qualification, and then including a CSO, that means a security people, personnel qualification at the same time. If they are fail on the security part, I just NC out the ISPS part. If they fail on ship people side, I fail on their ISM, but personnel can be also QA side, if you know what I mean, because QA represent the whole line of the company organization. So that means you have one NCR applied to several code or standard. So I will teach you all the tips how to do it. Mainly, you have to understand the relationship of all these codes and standards. And then that's why you have to be familiar with each one. And then we've been doing that as a pioneer. Pioneer means nobody's doing that at that moment. People say it's not possible. We did it. We showed them we did it. And they are very happy. The clients are very happy because it's cheaper. And they save them 1 extra day to pay us. And then we maybe save 2 days time, and we may make more money supposedly, okay? Anyway, so I'm sure everybody know more about the QA system than the ship industry ISM, but because you are involving, some are involving relationship with the ship, and then some are the offshore, and you have to know, because in the offshore industry, a lot of before ISM comes in place, they already give you a book, a thick book. These are our rules and regulations. Read it. These are my system, my management system. It is about occupational health and safety. Safety, not only the ship itself, but people's life also included as a safety element. So I will show you all the detailed name of this code. ISM is International Ship Safety Management, and then it is a system. And if you have a auditing, that means auditing, lead auditor training or something, okay? And then DPA is designated person ashore. Designated, that means that person is supposedly wearing a hat to be responsible for these whatever ship require safety. That means the flag state inspector or auditor, or we are the ISO auditor. We work with the GMS, the QMS. Like ISO work with the quality management manager, okay, quality assurance manager, QAM. But ship industry ISM, we work with the DPA. But sometimes the ship company is very small. They can be DPA together. I'm a QM quality manager. I am a labor personnel manager. That means we involve everything including one. Some company are very big, so they can have one DPA only dealing with ship. And they have QA manager dealing with the company QA system. Or some bigger company, they may have one DPA handle 5 ships, another DPA handle another 5 ships or 10 ships. So up to the size of your company. Understand? Understand? So you need a personnel. So one person cannot do everything. So they have a team or the committee, just like QA person is the same. QA manager, you can have a team of the auditor or internal auditors doing the job for the company. The company is big, okay? So they might be branches around the world. They have a branch another side of the city, country, like this. So ISPS is International Ship and Port Facility Security Code. So this is after 9/11. It's basically on security and involving not only ship, but port and port facility. Anything in the port, around the port, they have to abide with the rules and regulation. And then this is, remember, it's all international. International. That means every country is bound by this regulation, unless they don't have ship or they don't have anything involving sea, they're inland, okay? And then ISPS involving CSO. CSO is a company security or port security officer, okay? Is an officer person, just like QM manager, okay? Or DPA, or the company is so small, they can combine, I'm a DPA, I'm a CSO, I'm a quality manager. You can be occupational health and safety manager. You can be environmental manager, or you can separate them. So this is how, that's why it's all interrelated. That's why I will recommend everybody with your skill, with your background, should take something or know the knowledge about this, and you have more skill and you can work with a lot of different varieties. You have no short of jobs. You know, short of jobs, because international, you don't work with this country, you work with another country. You can work with another country, another ship, another flag. Okay, now, and then SSO is the designated, must be ship people, is an officer, but work in the ship, because you ship in the person in charge of the ship safety or security. And then the CSO is a company. Okay, then what's the difference between ship security officer or vessel security officer? Then I will give you the idea there, because America, Canada, Australia, they call vessel security. And the other part of the world, they call SSO. Okay, now, and then PFSO is Port Facility Security Officer. So this is all involving ISPS. So, and it is you can take 2 days each course. CSO, SSO, PFSO. I can teach you in 2 days all the 3 courses. Okay, so I can relay all the difficult information. And then MLC, Maritime Labor Convention, is the same about labor. Okay, and then worldwide recognized. So we were doing all these around the world. That's why I travel. I've been to more cities in Australia. I can challenge the local citizen. And every year we go, we went two times, and then each time is about 2 to 3 months, total about 6 months in Australia. And then different city, because we have many clients, depends on your client. Then of course we go to a different part of Asia. I'm in charge of North America, South America, Asia, Australia, New Zealand. Yeah, in Asia, yeah. And then the UK company, our head office involving only UK and Europe. I have a biggest chunk of the work responsibility, including consultancy. And after that, my company took me away consultancy. I'm concentrating in auditing and training. So I start out as a consultant. So that's the reason why I taught people earlier, 2015 ISO 9000, is because I want you to be a consultant. Consultant, you don't need to have any people to certify you. With your experience, you can be a consultant, but you must have truly know what you're doing. Then you must know, taking care of the auditing training and understand all the wide scope of the industry you are involving with. Okay, so consultant, you can get a job from maybe shipyard, shipbuilder, all these things, and then work with them too. You can be consultant in different elements. Okay, I did a lot of experience, teaching all these number of years, almost 25 years. In the beginning, I'm more working, developing the company. I get the company branch offices around. And then also, I work with the RO surveying training. I teach ISM or all this to the recognized organization. I tell you what's that mean. And then we do, and then with your skill, you are able to market what is this product, what is this system. So develop the business as well. Okay, you can negotiate, talk to people, what is going on involving our industry. Not only if you say, I don't involve in shipping, okay, go to ISO, quality management system. And then involving everywhere, you need a bit of safety in the environment. Involving must have some kind of a safety. So I know majority of you are skillful, very specialized in occupational health and safety, and that's very important element. Many countries make it as a top #1. Organized, okay, it's a management system. I did over, I think now more than, these are all my old CV, more than 100 clients just to get the system ready. Yeah, and then I'm also wearing a different hat with a consultant company, but I also wearing an auditing company hat. When I'm involving a company, I don't touch them as a consultant. So I'm representing maybe some third-party certification body on ISO. So they are different source, different mother, different parent, because they give certificate. I don't give certificate. I just sign and report and they say pass or not pass. And then now you can see that ISO 9000, you got many different version, which I told you just now. And then of course in the past it's 14,000 occupational health and safety, now change the name. And then involving 22,000 food safety. If you are looking into auditing reverse ship, it's the refrigerator with all the frozen food from one country to the other. You need to have food safety element. That's why the company took me. The company took me with them because I have a different different ability. So with the occupant, if the hotel, we have audited an audit in an island, private island in Australia. Beautiful place. You have to take a ship going over to this island and then stay in a hotel, cost you 1,000 Australian dollar a night. And then they involving all the spots, anything, and then the 5 restaurants. So we have to have some kind of skill, because if you don't have the skill, you cannot audit that element. Okay, so you may have a sector experience. That's ISO, I'm going to tell you about the sector experience. So how do we work on? And then medical device. Medical device is involving hospital. Ship nowadays, you know that ship has hospital, right? You can hear that hospital on board the ship, or you just audit a land hospital. So that I was able to send by the company, say, oh, company say I have someone who know how to do that. So they send me to the middle of Australia. Otherwise, I only go to the sea, the border terminal. And then now went to the middle of the Australia is Alice Spring. And then we go to the hospital to audit them. So, and then there's social responsibility, then you know more about this. Social accountability, so you go into a bit further. You don't need that. You don't need that. So you need the industry experience, the type of industry, size of the client. If you don't have those experience, you are not able to audit them. So these are sector experience. Now, ISM code become mandatory in July 1st, 1998. At that time, there's so many ships around the world. How do you get so many people get audited to audit these ships? There's no people to audit them. So that's why at that time, I have a calendar for you and show you each week, Monday to Friday, we teach ISO, ISM auditing, lead auditor training every week. So we travel on Saturday, Sunday, and to another city en route from Asia to America, and then to Europe, and to come back to somewhere, Africa, Australia, this kind of thing, and walk round a trip, and then just go back to country to change your luggage. Maybe Asia, because I was living in Singapore at that time, a manager for Singapore. I lived in Panama also for a few years, because Panama has a canal. So all the ship must go there. So they need, there's a very big chunk of maritime industry work and businesses. Okay, so it's a management system. Remember, ISM code, ISO the same, also management system. Yeah, and then the ISM code. Why is it? Then I explain to you why is it. I don't know why there's a sound. And then the substandard ship.
3 more minutes, please. Thank you.
Yeah, and then all the people, the ship died, dead, many dead, 10,000 dead in 6 years. The life is not important at that time. The value of life now is different. It changed totally different all these years. And then if you think the system is difficult, time consuming and expensive, try accident. Try accident, you'll be off, no more business. Your business can stop if you are not a strong company. So all these. Yeah, all these, how many people die, and all this history. I give you all the history, the cause of it, and then they're involving pollution, oil, their fire, all different kinds, and then the pollution again, and then the pollution, and then they're even recently, okay, the old time is the Titanic, is a non-sinkable, unsinkable ship is sank in 1 day almost, right? And only the maiden voyage, first trip, they sank. Is a captain. This is a sea captain. He's a lot of experience. Okay, on all this, and because there's something is a management default. Not enough life jacket, not enough lifeboats. They can have more lifeboats, more people can get out. Otherwise, people sink into the water, they die very shortly. Okay, you cannot bear it. And Exxon Valdez and all this involving how much money, and the module, okay, the recent one, Deep Water Horizon in America, all these so many, and the young people die, very young, 35 years old, and all this soaking, all this oil pollution, and then stranded somewhere, the ship, and they polluted your sea, and then your marine department say, no way. Don't come to my place if you're non-standard, you're substandard, okay? Collision, cargo, and then this is almost 3,000 new cars, all high-end car, Mercedes-Benz, all the high-end, they collided, the ship collided, and then sank, and all the very expensive car, that's it.
Hi, Mary.
Yeah.
Hi, Mary.
Yeah.
I think we are right on the hour now, so it's good to allow for questions from the participants.
Yeah, sure.
Maybe you can just help us round up. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Over to you,
Please
coordinator.
Maybe what is it you think about? Yeah. If I know the answer, I will answer you.
Yep.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Mary. We appreciate the presentation. No doubt it's been so insightful, and I could see that you actually have a lot and lots even to share with us. That's very interesting. We really appreciate you. I just want to quickly invite some of our professional colleagues if there are questions, so that you can just speak through it. I will appreciate if we can just raise up our hands so that we can call you up for question and answer time. Please, do we have anybody who wants to ask questions? This question and answer time, please, do we have anyone? Yes, okay. The floor is open to you, Mr. Please, your question, let's make it very brief and concise. Thank you very much. Over to you, Mr. George.
Right. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Festus. And one more thanks to you, Mary, for a nice one. Most of us has done a bit of IMS code courses, but you broke it down as someone who has been involved with it. And my question from listening to you borders on DPA. That is where I believe that many safety professionals can make a career out of it, because that does not necessarily mean the person has to be on board the ship. But if you have a holistic knowledge of what the safety ISM code and safe management of ship is involved, you will be able to handle it. So from your personal experience, for someone who wants to make a career switch, if you want to go into that aspect, because I discovered that not many of us are really into it because we do not have the shipping background or being on board the ship. How would someone migrate, switch comfortably to become a DPA coming from the background of occupational safety and health, and to work and get a job either as a consultant or work with a flag state company?
Yeah, it's a very good question, because you do need some knowledge, but you don't need to be like totally into it. Then you have to learn their industry, technical side, and the knowledge. It is a management, so you don't need to go hands on the machine. You don't need to be working on how they drive the ship or sail the whatever. And then, but you need to know how to manage it, because this management system is basically for senior management. And then management are the people who have past experience of different angle. Then they will learn, also taking some other training on the ship industry information to be on the ISM. And then many now DPA, designated person, are sure they don't need to be a ship-going person. They don't need to be a sea-going person now. Okay, they just take a training, they learn a bit more wider scope in those technical side of it, and how to managing it they can be, and they need to have experience. The experience is important. So in the DPA course, I will give you all the experience, why and what you need to do to be switching your career. Just like your QA manager, you're now familiar with occupational health and safety officer or manager. Then the same thing, then you need to have the knowledge about the safety of that industry's aspect. Safety also apply to different aspects. So in your industry, what is it involving the safety? The same thing. This is the same element, same reason, same philosophy. Switching is not difficult, but you just need to get into more industry information. Just like I was not in the ship industry before, but because I have a lot of experience, I follow the people, I follow the expertise around to work on it. And then gradually I become expert, and then the time can tell. And that is the experience more than you just academic. Yeah, you can switch anytime, basically, but you need to get prepared.
Thanks, Mary Lee. And if I may add to that questions that was raised, basically as a DPA, you are more of a management person, like she has noted, and your role include you following the decision being made by the chief master at any point in time to ensure he's making the right decision in line with the management system. So all you need to understand is the management system. And for safety professional, why this might be very important to all of us is that some of us are not involved at our company level in some of the logistics decision by procurement to hire a vessel, to bring in a particular equipment for the company. But your knowledge in this will make you ask the right question in your pre-qualification of a particular logistic company that will help in delivering some of these things. You will be looking at the environmental safety compliance of the vessel that you want to hire to ensure it can move from point A to B. You want to look at the environmental protection system of the vessel you want to hire, that particular vessel will not be stopped in the middle of a sea because of non-compliance to some of the regulations of the particular water which the vessel might be plowing. So you need to ensure that it's in compliance with all the ISM code. And when you understand this code is only when you can be able to do this pre-qualification in the selection of your logistics. Our role now is more of management and is a life cycle control from cradle to grade. So you can know the chain of cycle of your operation and be able to take decision why you can say no, we cannot use a particular shipping company or a logistic company based on a particular incident record or a record of audit, which they will also present to you from consultant like Mary Lee, which they've received on that particular shipping or vessels they have in the past. So that's the value that is coming to we as safety professional for this knowledge. Thank you. Over to you, coordinator.
Thank you very much, Kamil. Sorry?
The manager is not the one who do the job. You are monitoring, just like a mouse, you have computer, your mouse, you controlling the computer. You make sure they do what they need to be done. And then you ensure you have to know what they need to be done, and then what they done correctly, accordingly. So all the elements, that's all. And then we work with the captain on board the ship. And then captain is the chief of the ship. So in the ISM, it is with the captain. Otherwise, SSO is security with the SSO or VSO. So this is how we work on. So yes, you can switch, but then you have to gain a different variety of knowledge. Just like what you are doing at the moment about environment or occupational health and safety, just to get involved in that industry, particular industry.
Thank you very much, Lee, and thank you very much, Kamil, for lending your voice to the question. Another person is Somto Unwachuku. Over to you, please. Let's make it brief and concise so that we can quickly wrap up. Over to you, Somto.
Good morning, team. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Can you be a little bit audible?
Yes.
Okay, fine.
To partake in this course. And I also thank Mary Lee for her insightful expositions. Just a quick one, because I've done some work with APNT late last year. So I'm really interested in this shipping and ISM stuff. I want to know the difference between a consultant and an auditor in terms of role definition. What sets them apart in terms of their role definitions, their duties and responsibilities?
Can somebody tell me what's the question?
I said, what's the difference between consultant and an auditor?
Okay. Now, totally two different elements. A consultant is to set up the system, ensure the company don't miss any element that is involving the standard or the code they are auditing. So that means if they are doing ISO or ISM or ISPS, whatever the element of the code, that means the key point. Then they have to ensure the company is doing that, make sure it complies. Auditor just to find out what you are not complying. They don't help you. They don't teach you how to do it. If you are consultant of this company, you cannot be auditor of this company. It's conflict of interest. Okay, so anybody can be consultant working with the company, and then but auditing, you need to have qualification in a sense, proper training and accept by the organization who hire you to be an auditor. That means in ISM is a ship safety, is it under flag state? Okay, your country flag. So that means the country flag can be class or non-class. And we call these people called recognized organization, RO. And we were the one very early time, we organized a lot of RO company and teach them how to do that. And then we help them from the beginning to become trained, because in the beginning, nobody is an auditor. We took the training course around the world to teach so many people, and every week we have full class, and we cannot take more than 20 people, maximum 20. So auditor need to be, or they say ISO or environment, you have to be audited or appointed by the third-party auditing body, and it is completely different from the ship people. You understand? So that means some company in UK or America, they are able, they can give you the certificate, certify you. Then you are working for them. That means you are wearing the hat as an auditor. If you are consultant of this company, you cannot be auditor of this company. You can be auditor for another company, yes. Okay, so you can have two jobs together at the same time. That means when you are retiring or you are part-time, you can work as a consultant. You can work as an auditor, because if somebody say, hey, I have a job for you in so and so country, you're living there in this country, why don't you auditing? Then you go with my rules and regulation, you use my forms. These are the set of forms you accordingly, you write the report to me. Then if you say pass, and then I give you the certificate. So we don't give certificate. We just on behalf of an organization.
Thank you very much, Lee. Very quickly on the chat box, we have Emmanuel Bede, who is asking this question. He said, does this management system applicable to barge operators?
Yes, yes. Now, good question. We do that. ISM is only applied to 500, more than over 500 GRT, gross tonnage ships. That means if your ship is less than the 500 tons, that means you are not subject to be audited. But in many countries like America and USA, Canada and Australia and some country, they said, I am the boss. I'm the Marine Department. I said, you need the small ship also need to be audited, have ISM. So that's why we also teach together. ISM apply to small ships, how to audit. So that means up to the flag state to say yes or no. International, no. ISM, no. They don't bound you, don't regulate you on anything under 500 GRT. But flag state depends on which flag are you going. Say just like your drinking age in different country is different. Your working age is different from different country, right? So this is how we do it. Or driving age, some are 16-year-old, some are only 21-year-old, whatever. Okay, so this is flag state say so.
Thank you very much. I'm afraid this is pretty much questions we are going to take in this meeting. We really want to appreciate you so much. We thank you for being part of this webinar, and sincerely, it's been very insightful, and I'm very sure every one of us will have learned a lot even from this presentation. As it is our practice, after each presentation, we would just like to give you a certificate of recognition for this presentation. So I will have the pleasure of calling on one of our executives delegates in the person of Engineer Demery Green to please help us to give this certificate. Over to you, Mr. Green. Let me just share my screen.
Okay. Yeah, this is quite an interesting topic. In short, Mary, you actually did a home run on that. We sincerely appreciate. And I enjoyed every bit of it. In short, I connected it to a bigger speakers, and I had some audience with me here who are listening. And the next question they are asking is, how can I be a consultant? How can I be an auditor? So you actually dealt with it seriously. I am sure that this is going to be an opener for us, and we sincerely appreciate your presentation. You actually...
Yeah, I'd like to add, all your working experience now and past count. That means whatever you are learning, taking, working, all count.
Yes. Thank you so much. Your 40 years experience actually paid out, and we look forward to having you again and again. On behalf of American Society of Safety Professionals, Nigerian chapter, this is a rare privilege. We enjoy your presentation. And on behalf of the executive and members, we say this is a little token to you to appreciate this moment you shared with us. And it has actually opened our eyes, and those of our eyes that are even open are wider now. Thank you very much. On behalf of the president, we say thank you. And we look forward to having you again and again. We would never get tired of listening to you. We would never get tired of listening to you. Thank you very much.
A lot more. Yes, if you continue, there's more to say because there's so much that I'd like to share with you.
Thank you. So we will share that with you. We give you this certificate of recognition. I'm sure it will be mailed to your box. And thank you very much.
Thank you.
Over to you, Festus.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the presentation. We really appreciate. Without wasting time, before we move into the... Please, can we mute our mic, please? Please, can we mute our mic, please? Yeah. Before we go into closing remarks, I have the singular honor to actually recognize some of our executive members from the region who are actually joining us this webinar. It feels good to have them with us. We are having the ASSP Egypt chapter who is on this call in the person of Mohammed Ahmad Muhammad. Thank you very much for joining us. We actually appreciate, on behalf of the president, we appreciate you for joining us. Also, we have in our midst the Deputy Regional Vice President in the person of Saeed Ahmad Ali. Thank you very much. We appreciate all the support all the time for Nigerian chapter. And on behalf of the president too, I'm actually welcoming you and appreciating you. And last but not the least, of course, we are having the Area 1 Director of Region 9 in the person of Subarao Palagumi. Thank you also for finding out time to be part of this webinar. We really appreciate you. And on behalf of the president and the executive, including all the professional members, we thank you very much and we say keep supporting us. And on this note, I want to invite our Area 2 Director, who is our own person, no other person than Abiodun. Thank you very much. Over to you for closing remarks. And after the closing remarks, I want to crave our indulgence to please open our videos so that we take a quick snapshot after that. Thank you very much. Over to you, Kevin.
Hello, coordinator. Sorry.
Mr. President.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, sir.
I wanted to make an announcement with regard to our upcoming PDC. Please, I want to thank each and every one of us, and I urge each and every one of us, particularly the new members and other participants that joined this meeting, to subscribe to our upcoming Professional Development Conference coming off from 17th to 19th of March 2022 in Abuja at NAP Conference Center. Please, the registration is ongoing, and we expect each and every one of us to subscribe to it. And I want to appreciate each and every one of us. Thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you, President. Over to you, Kevin.
Mr. President, on behalf of the president of the Nigerian chapter, Mr. Kabir, Shehu, and the entire executive of the Nigerian chapter, and also on behalf of the region 9, area 2 area, we want to appreciate you, and it's a privilege that you have joined us today. We are learning from your wealth of experience, and it's of great value to us. I must say that I familiarized with Mary Lee when she was introduced to me. One of our past presidents from ExxonMobil, the person of Mr. Insika Ikam, was the one that introduced Mary Lee to me. And Mary Lee, we've all been in touch, and I saw the value I'm also learning from her needs to be shared with the entire team, and for us to take advantage of our various training sections that will be coming up. I must tell you, there is no a designated person more within Africa, and one of them is Ekam Isika, who has undergone the training, and he looks after all the ExxonMobil vessels to inspect them on behalf of some of the logistics of ExxonMobil. So it's an area of interest for all of us as safety professionals, for us to build up our skill set. So I felt it's of value, and our chapter has actually had the opportunity to bring Mary Lee with a great experience. Thank you very much, Mary Lee. We really appreciate this section and the value you have brought to the chapter. And to my Deputy Vice President, are you still on, Mr. Said? Who has also joined us. I will inform him about it, and also the area director that also joined us from the region. We want to thank you for being part of the Area 2 event within Nigerian chapter, ASSP Nigerian chapter, for being here. And we thank you all for participating. And the email of Mary Lee has been shared. If you want to be part of any of our upcoming training, it's available there. Mary Lee is one of the founding member of the various standard on ISO ISM code globally. She's one of the founding members, so she's an authorized and a certified person to really recertify you as an auditor if you want to become a consultant and be part of the industry that looks after the logistics industry. Thank you, Mary Lee, and we look forward to see you more again when the team demands. And this is an opportunity. This is your volunteering. There's open opportunity that you will be invited to other of our chapter within the region. Like my regional directors, my regional vice president is here joining us. So you might be invited to be able to share your thoughts and also to share your experience across our region and across ASSP. Thank you very much. And thanks to everyone for making our time to join this event today and gaining this experience. Thank you. Over to you, Mr. President.
Yeah, thank you very much. Just in a moment, we want to crave our indulgence to just put on our videos so that we do a quick snapshot. Let's put on our videos. One, two, go.
So Barao, do you want to make a comment? I could see he's on there.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much for giving me a chance to attend sessions, and NC chapter sessions I always attend whenever I get a chance, which are very much informative and useful. And thanks, Mary, for our really a wonderful session, which is enlightening on the maritime areas and marine, especially the ship management issues, which are also one of the elements in our business in ADNOC in UAE. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Coordinator, I must tell you that we also have one of our person here, the person of Sevran. He's one of our director as well. He has also joined this section. I don't know if you see him online. He's right here. Narayan Vasudamvan, CSP. Sorry if I get you wrong. How are you? Thank you for joining us. Really
Thank you
appreciate
very much. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
Kamil, you did well. You did well.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please, one more time, let's just put on our videos one more time. Please all to put on their videos. Let's do a quick snapshot. One, two, go. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
On this note, we want to end this meeting, and we are all expecting each and every one of us in our next PDC. Hope to see every one of us. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. Do have a wonderful day ahead. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye for
Yeah,
now.
bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
God bless
Bye.
you all.
Thank you.
President, thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
Look forward to
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you.
Yes.
Appreciate. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Thank you, coordinator, President.
More respect.
More respect. You are welcome.
Well done.
Yeah,
I
coordinator,
was able to
thank
say,
you
even
so
though I am on
much.
transit, I'm trying
Thank
to
you, sir.
out of my Kano.
Yes.
Our
But
IPP.
first thing, I'm really proud to be here.
Madam, good to
Hey,
see
Messi.
Well done.
Oh, thank you.
Hey, how are you?
Show Kabir.
Full time.
That's okay.
Come on.
Thank you.
Well done.